Hello, friends. Welcome to Practice Yoga. I hope for all of us out there, social distancing, it feels impactful. My name is Jenn Wooten, and I thought today we would do some work with core stability. What I know about the nervous system is that engaging and deepening into the deep core fight or flight muscles can help us discharge and reset the nervous system. So that's what we're going to practice today. You don't need any props. You just need yourself and a yoga mat. So shall we? Okay, so we're going to start reclined, and let's just take a few moments just to feel your hands on your rib cage. I was chatting with my husband this morning about how we sort of both feel like we're breathing in and out through a coffee straw. So you just might notice that your breathing is a little more shallow. So we're just going to take a moment to let our breathing come a little full. And just feel your ribs move open like an accordion. And draw in like an accordion. And opening like an accordion. And drawing in like an accordion. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and take the arms up overhead. And let your armpits and your shoulders get heavy. Then let's go ahead and extend the right shin parallel to the ceiling. So just engaging hip flexion here, beginning to feel the core. For those of you who practice with me often, you know we do a lot of this asymmetrical core stability work. So just keeping that full breath, the ribs and the lungs are fully expanded. Now lift the left foot to hover and hang out for a moment there. You're just feeling yourself engaged as if you were running or leaping through the air. And then we'll bring our left foot down, our right foot down. Take a full breath in. And full breath out. And let's bring our left shin to parallel with the ceiling, our right foot to hover. And take a couple of breaths there. The sacrum is heavy, the shoulders are heavy, but the spine can float up off the earth a little bit. So there's a feeling as if you could sort of leap through the air here. Everything is deeply connected to the center. And then right foot down and left foot down. And then from here, let's go ahead and take the right hand up to meet the top of the right knee. And take a moment here. You're just going to push knee into hand into foot. Sorry, knee into hand and hand into knee. Now take your ribs and hug them in toward each other. Left arm is reaching behind you. Pick up your left foot to hover just an inch. And just feel everything connecting into the center. Let's take a full breath in here. And a full breath out. And bring the left foot down, the right foot down. Reach your right arm up overhead. The left hand comes up to the top of the left knee. You're going to push left hand into left knee and bring the right foot to hover. You're just beginning to feel the whole body beginning to connect right into the very center, the very midline. And the right foot down, left foot down. So bring both arms up overhead. And now from here, you're going to reach your fingertips up towards your heels. Curl up just a little bit. Let your chin come up, your chest come up, your shoulders come up. And from here, walk your shoulder blades like little feet away from your hips. And slowly lower back down. Let's inhale, reach both arms overhead. Bring both shins parallel to the ceiling. So your knees are bent at a right angle. And hang out here for a moment. Let your knees open out wide. Let your heels drop into your sitting bones. And you're just feeling the breath here. So not moving quickly right away. Just feeling where the breath feels a little bit stuck. Full breath into the rib cage. Full breath out as the ribs hug in. And let's bring the knees back in together for a moment. And again, with the shins parallel, we're going to curl up here. You're going to reach your fingertips toward your feet, chin to chest. We're going to use all of the bandhas in this practice. We're going to use Jalandhara Bandha, the chin lock, Uddiyana Bandha, the belly lock, and then Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor lock. And then we'll set both feet down. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Full breath in. And full breath out. Let's interlace our fingers now in front of our left shin. You're going to hug your left shin into your belly. Interlace your fingers just below the knee and push your hands forward. Now let your arms straighten here, and then again, take your chin into your chest. We're in Jalandhara Bandha. We're going to find Uddiyana Bandha. You're going to soften the front of the belly and let your organs float back to the back of your ribs. Go ahead and pick up your right foot to hover, and from here, kick your right foot straight out. Hug it back into your sitting bone. Right foot straight out. Hug it back in. One more time, right foot straight out to hover off your mat. Keep pushing through the left shin, push through the right foot, curl. You might rock a little bit here. And then we'll bring the right foot in, left foot down. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Feel your ribs expand, feel your diaphragm expand. Full breath out. I use a lot in my own practice and teaching what's called straw breath, where we're actually breathing out very slowly through pursed lips to titrate the breath out. And now you'll interlace your fingers at your right shin just below the knee and push into your hands. Curl your chin up into your chest. Lift your shoulders up off the ground. Lift your top of your shoulder blades. And then lift the left foot to hover and extend the left leg straight to hover right over your mat. And then hug back in. Extend the left leg straight to hover. And back in. One more time, extend. Push through the right knee. Push through the left foot. Rock a little bit. And then release. Lower down. Inhale. Reach your arms up overhead. Fill the ribs. Open. And then exhale. Feel the ribs soften. We'll take that again on the left leg. Interlace your fingers in front of your left leg, just below your left knee, and then push into your interlaced fingers until your arms straighten. You take Jalandhara Bandha, curling up, throat lock, belly soft, organs move back. Lift your right foot, extend it to hover. Now let's rock here, and maybe you'll roll up to your sitting bones. Your right leg stays extended. You roll your shoulders back, lift your chest, but keep pushing into your left knee. And then from here, we're going to bend our right leg and extend. And then bend our right leg, extend. And then bend and extend. And let's bring the right leg down, the left foot down. We'll come into a twist, Richiasana A. Right elbow hugs over the left knee, left hand behind the back. Inhale, lift your chest. So the longest nerve, the vagus nerve, runs through the whole entire organ system. And the recent understanding in neuroscience understands that the vagus nerve is a big player in how we respond to stress. My experience is that twisting, for me, really helps to begin to regulate the nervous system, and it's my theory that this happens through the toning of the vagus nerve. Now from Richiasana, we'll release and we'll come back to center. And again, we're going to curl down, so you're going to send the back of the heart to the wall behind you. You're going to lift your left foot up, you're going to lift your right foot up, and we're hovering here like in a modified boat. And then we'll lower all the way back down. This time, let's hug both knees in, extend the arms up overhead, take a full breath in, open up the ribs, and full breath out. And bring the left foot down and interlace your fingers in front of your right knee. Again, straighten the arms, push into your right knee, curl your chin into your chest, Jalandhara Bandha. Soften the organs back toward your spine, lift your left foot, extend your left leg. And we'll rock a little bit here, curling up, taking a little momentum to come all the way up. Your left foot still hovers, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. And then we'll come into Richiasana A on the other side. Left foot lands, right heel lands in front of right sitting bone, right hand behind your back, left arm hugs into the right knee. Now lift your chest, turn your belly, turn your organs, turn your spine. 5 breaths here, full audible breaths. Can you hear your breaths? If you've never done Ujjayi before, if you're new to this Ujjayi breath, you can practice by first breathing through the mouth and imagining that you're fogging up a window or a mirror. So it'll have a ha sound. You'll feel a subtle contraction of your body, so you can close your mouth and then make that same sound through your nose. And this just really helps slow down the breath. It also heats up the breath just a bit, heats up the body. Let's take one last breath here. And then we'll unwind. And again, you'll interlace your fingers. You're going to round, curl back. Send the back of your heart to the wall behind you. Lift your right foot to hover, lift your left leg to hover. And then lower all the way down. And release. Take your arms up overhead wide, knees resting in the belly. Full breath in. Full breath out. Let's interlace both fingers behind both knees. Cross your forearms. And then you'll take your hands and slide them behind your knees. So your right hand tucks behind your left knee. Your left hand tucks behind your right knee. You're going to push your feet forward again, curl up, Jaldara Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Soften your belly so your organs float back to the back of the ribs and push through your feet. There's kind of rock here. We're massaging the kidneys and the adrenals here. Let's take 5 more breaths as we start to roll. And then you'll push through the feet. We're going to have that modified boat pose here. Shins parallel to the ceiling. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. And then release. Let's cross the feet here for just a moment. I'm going to take a little bit of opening for the side body. You're going to open up the muscle of the respiration here. Right hand behind your back, left hand to right knee. So simple seated twist. We'll take our right arm straight up to the ceiling and get a little longer through the right side. Reach your fingertips toward the ceiling. Take your left shoulder back and begin to dip your left shoulder down as you reach your right arm up over for your left knee. And then back up to center. Let's start the right hand drop back behind us and we'll twist just a little more deeply. Again, right arm up to the ceiling. Take a full inhale, exhale, dip left shoulder down as your right fingertips reach. And then back up through center, right hand back behind you as you twist a little more deeply. One more time. Right hand up, take an inhale. Left shoulder dips down as you reach. And then come back up and back through center. And just take a moment to let your hand rest at your solar plexus. And pause and feel the sensation of unwinding. Let's take this to the other side now. Right hand will cross over to our left knee. Left hand behind your back. We'll come into seated twist here. Hold on firm with the right hand and stretch your left arm straight up. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, dip your right shoulder down. Inhale, come back up. Reach a little further through the crown of the head. Take your left hand back behind you. Twist a little more deeply. And then stretch your left arm up. Take a full inhale. Exhale, dip down. And then come on back through center one more time. Left hand behind you. Twist a little more deeply. And then stretch up. And dip. And then we'll unwind and come back to center. And again, for a moment, place your hand just over the bottom of the sternum, the solar plexus, and notice the feeling of unringing. Let's come up to all fours on our mat. Set your index finger down and spread out the base muscles of your fingers and just feel your hands on the earth. Feel your knees on the earth. And then curl your toes, take your sitting bones back towards your heels for just a moment as we stretch out the bottoms of the feet. Now push into the hands round, let your head bow towards your knees. Now push into the knees and send the back of the ribs toward the ceiling. Modified cat pose, yes. And then come on back to center. Let's inhale. Lift your chest, lift your organs from here, and lift your knees, and we're going to hover. Now, you don't have to, obviously you're at home, so you don't have to do this the whole time here. You can pause and rest at any time. Just rock a little from side to side. Just starting to engage through the hip flexors here, through the front of the abdomen. And then pause, we'll set our knees down, and again, we're gonna push back. Push your hands forward, round, head toward knees. And then send the back of the heart up toward the wall behind you. We'll be doing a lot of heart opening from the back side, and then we'll move to the side and the front side. So we're working all around the diaphragm. And then come forward again, chest forward, take a breath in, take a breath out, lift your knees to hover. And you can add right leg back, half plank pose, right leg in, left leg back, left leg in. And you're just move from side to side here, extending half plank pose as you reach out, pushing into the earth, staying connected with your breath, push the ground away, knees hover. Let's do 3 more on each side. Pause and rest when you need to. Again, we're working to discharge the nervous system a little bit, so we're going to build some heat and build some activation. And then now, knees to the earth. Pause, keep your toes curled, push your hands forward, rest your forehead down. Take a full breath into the back body, full breath out. And then inhale. Come forward now, release your toes. I'm going to take thread the needle here. Our right arm comes through, come down to the top of the right shoulder as our right arm threads. Push into your left fingertips. Wag your tail to the right. Lean back through your left ribs. So you might begin to notice where your diaphragm and the other muscles of respiration feel kind of tamped down. So what we're working with here, let's take a breath back and come back to center. And now your left arm's going to thread through. Push into your right fingertips. Wag your tail to the left. Lean back through your right ribs. And then unwind. Go ahead and pivot here. So we're closer to the microphone. All right, we're ready for down dog. Go ahead and push back into down dog. And just take a moment here in down dog and pedal your heels. And just notice if you feel a little tighter than usual. And being static, and feeling the waves of stress hormones move through you, that's normal. Can you be with that? Can you move with that? Contraction is a very, very natural response to stress. And we are all up in it. Inhale, come forward, plank pose, pause, push the ground away. Let's pedal the heels here. So just like we did stepping our feet back, but alternating on your right knee hover, left knee hover. We're gonna move here about 5 breaths. Pushing the ground away, just like we did on the ground. And then push back, downwards facing dog. Let's lift up onto our toes. Step your right leg forward, lunge. You can bring a throw pillow if you need, or a towel to support the back knee. You'll find lots of household items make great props. A pair of stretchy yoga pants makes for a great strap. Let's bring our left knee and right heel toward each other as we start to move the hips forward toward the earth. Doing a lot of my own meditative work right now of just being a little more connected to the earth, trying to sit on the ground as much as possible, be outside on the ground as much as possible, and just doing some really deep listening of my own body and of the earth. And let's pick up the left knee, we'll step the left leg forward. And from here, fingertips on the earth, just bend and straighten your legs here. So you can sit low as you bend, and then extend, lifting the chest. Do this a few more times. Again, the intent here is just to move through the contraction of the postural body, and let everything become a little more supple again. So it's not the time where we're trying to learn new things. This is not the time to, try and master the guitar or whatever other thing you've been holding on. This is the time to get close to the earth and close to the hearth, to be around the stove, to text, and instead of text, to make actual phone calls and FaceTime with people you love. This is the time to reconnect to what is more essential and internal. Push through the feet. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Lift your chest, lift your ribs. And find what's called Shiva Mudra. So you'll interlace your fingers here overhead and stretch your index finger up and lean back now, like a half moon moving backwards. So the ribs lifting, the chest lifting. We'll bend our knees and sit down in chair pose. We're going to hold here for a few breaths. Push your feet down and apart. See if you could, even if you're trying to sort of make space between your mat, between your feet. And then we'll bow forward here. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, step our left leg back and come into high lunge. Hands to hips for a moment, just push to the earth. We're gonna bounce just a little bit. So you're gonna push off your back heel to lift to the ball of the foot. Right leg straightens a little bit, not all the way. Push and lift. We're just working lift off to the back of the left foot. And then we'll take our hands down to the earth. Let's push back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, plank pose again. You're gonna pedal the heels. Right knee hovers, left knee hovers. Push the ground away. It's like we're power walking on our hands. I've been power walking a lot, leaving my family in the dust. It's my coping strategy. Walk real fast. All right, and now from here, let's let both knees hover. Draw both knees down. You're gonna pull yourself forward all the way to the earth. Lift the legs, lift the shoulders. You're gonna take Shalabhasana here, holding for 5 breaths. Let everything hug into the kidney and adrenals. So these are like you've been hugged around the back of the waist. And somebody just sort of takes the back of your waist and hugs it in. You're gonna do with your own musculature. And then we'll push back. Downward facing dog. Let's lift up onto our toes. Step our left leg forward, back knee to the earth. Same thing, hug, right knee and left heel to each other here. And as you pull in knee to heel, you're leaning forward, opening up the hips. The out breath is full. You're at home, you can make a lot of noise. Sigh, groan, grunt, cry. Find the noises that remind you that you're alive and in this body. Let's step our right leg forward. And again, gonna bend and straighten the legs. You can really begin to sit down low if you'd like, coming into full knee flexion here, or just small movements. Nothing has to be big to be effective. And then pause, legs straight. Let's inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Again, you're gonna find Shiva Mudra. Interlace your fingers, extend your pointer finger. We're opening up the front of the chest, opening up the front of the ribs, leaning back. So you can feel here my heart rate rising just a little bit. And then breathe out. Inhale up halfway. Step our right leg back, hands to hip. We'll come into high lunge. And then here, just pushing off of your back foot, hips lifting, and then lowering. Just feeling here, this full this flexion and extension of your ankle. And then we'll touch down and find downward facing dog. One more time, inhale, plank pose. Let's pedal the heels here, hovering. A little faster if you'd like. Push the ground away. Find your breath can speed up. Breath doesn't have to stay slow. Pause, both knees hover. Pull yourself all the way down. Lift your shoulders, lift your legs. Everything hugs into the kidney and adrenals. My phone buzzing around the floor. I'm gonna roll over and turn it off. All right. And now push back, downward facing dog. All right. Again, let's step the right foot forward, back knee to the earth. Now, a couple of ways, I'm going to twist here. A couple of ways I'm going to ask you to twist. One option is to keep your left hand down. Take your right hand to your right knee, twist. Second option is to go ahead and push up through the right hand to lift your left side and left elbow across right thigh. Push right hand to left. Draw the organs up into the spine and around. Again, the work is to find, hug, and turn the midline. Your breath might not be as deep here, but let your out breath move out as deeply as you can. And then let's unwind. We'll step our left leg forward, bow in. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Keep your feet hip distance wide again. Let's find Shiva Mudra. Interlace your fingers, point your fingers up. We're going to reach over to the right. Now bend your knees in chair pose as your fingers point to the right side of your mat. We're opening up the left ribs. We're opening up the left waist. Opening up the left diaphragm. You can stay here, pick up your left heel. Now pick up your left foot. Pick your left foot and just step it, a little curtsy behind the right side of your mat. Push down as you lift. But y'all, but I'm breaking a sweat here. And then come back to center. Take a moment here and go in the other direction. Right elbow under, left elbow over. Grab opposite shoulders, Garuda. Thigh bones back. Elbows down. Now we're going to bow in and just let the back ribs expand. You can rock here a little bit forward and back, balls of feet and heels, just feeling the whole posterior chain of the body. Experiencing some glide. And push through your feet. Inhale, reach up. Again, Shiva Mudra. Point through your index fingers, lean left. Lift your right ribs, lift your right waist, bend your knees like there's a sandbag over your thighs. And dip left. Now you can stay here or take that curtsy, lift your right heel up. Right foot steps to the left side of your mat. And then you keep reaching. Push both feet down as you lift your right belly, right waist, right ribs. And then come on back to center. Let's take left elbow under, opposite shoulders, or Garudasana. Thighs back. Bow forward, let your head drop. Bend your knees a bit. And then you can rock forward, balls of feet and heels. Bend the whole back body. To glide, move, and then release your hands down. Inhale up halfway. And from here, let's step our left leg back and come into high lunge. From here, we're going to open out into warrior two. Back heel down. Push both feet away. Front heel and back heel line up. Warrior two is lovely for finding the earth. Push down through the earth. Root your back leg. Now feel the right groin move forward to the right knee, this opening of the river of the right groin out to the front of your mat. Stretch your right arm up. Don't worry about how deep this right thigh goes. Worry about how far you can root your left thigh and then how deep you can open from that anchor of the back leg. As your right arm reaches up and back, lift your right belly, right ribs, just like we did in the side bend and curtsy. And now. Reach forward, right forearm to right thigh. Keep your left hand on your left hip and turn your left ribs back. This pose is a twist and a side body opener. Now feel here, can you lift your left hip higher? Can you lift your left waist higher? Can you lift your left ribs higher and take them back? Use your right forearm pushing down and then stretch left arm by left ear. The whole left side is expanding. The whole left breathing apparatus is expanding. Think about the whole left side lifting from your midline, from your center, opening out. And then spin it down to the earth. Downward facing dog. Inhale, come through plank pose. You can pause and hold here or pedal. The breath becomes a little more rapid. And then lower all the way down, chaturanga, or you can let your knees hover all the way to the earth. Lift your legs, lift your chest. I'm gonna hold here for 5 breaths. And again, this locust pose helps connect us to our back midline. So our inner thighs hug in, thigh bones hug in, waist, ribs, everything connects to the midline. We just hold ourselves in this sweet hug, sweet and intense hug. And then push back. Lift up onto your toes, left leg forward, back knee to the earth. You're gonna hug right knee and left heel toward each other. You can take your right hand down, left hand to left knee, and twist to your, or push into your left knee to reach the right arm up. Right elbow across, push left hand into right to twist. Think about your organs moving in toward your spine and around, moving the organ body, just moving the muscles and the spine and the bones, but moving the organs too. And then unwind. Let's step the right leg forward. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Let's find Shiva Mudra up overhead. Reach through your pointer finger. We're going to go left this time. Bend your knees, sit down. And now from here, you're going to pick up your right foot, open your right knee out, pause here, balancing. Now let your left leg get a little loose. So you want your left leg to shake. So if you're not waddling and shaking around, then get a little softer. You want your whole leg to be trembling, like Elvis. And then release, set your right foot down. Breathe out, let your arms drop. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Again, Shiva Mudra up overhead. Point your fingers to the right. And then from here, you're going to root your right foot, lift your left heel, turn your left knee out. Now, let your right leg shake. So just let a whole tremoring happen. If you've never done this before, it feels weird. We're used to sort of engaging everything to rigidity and kind of choking everything out, but let everything get loose. Let your whole right side wobble. And then left foot down. Inhale, exhale, push the air away as you come back to center. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale up halfway. Let's step our right leg back, straight into high lunge. And we're going to open right out into warrior two. Pause in warrior two. Back toes turn in slightly. Again, for those of you who are newer, just check your feet. Front heel and back heel line up with each other. Push into the earth. These warriors are about, for me, about finding the midline, rooting into the earth, and then opening from the midline. So feel here, your right thigh connected to the earth, your left groin opening out towards your left knee, revolve, stretch your left arm up. Again, this is not the time where practice needs to be complicated. It can be so simple. Can we make our practice as well as our life just a little more simple? Everything off the table for now. Even what's going to happen tomorrow. Push into the earth. Revolve, lift your belly, lift your ribs. Left forearm to left thigh. Right hand to right hip for just a moment. The side angle is both twist and a side body opener. So find it first. Root through the back heel. Take your right ribs, turn in the back. Now feel right hips lift, right waist, right ribs. Stretch your right arm by your right ear. Everything's being pulled from the midline as your left groin stretches forward. Don't worry about how deep your left leg goes. Reach from heel, back heel, right heel to fingertips. And then down to the earth. And then back into down dog. And then one more time at a plank pose. And you can pedal here. Again, this is really for this discharging the nervous system, pushing into the earth. Now, for those of you who want to turn volume way up, you can jog this, lifting the legs, or you can turn the volume down by moving more slowly. And then lower all the way down. So we want to be able to move, but we also want to only move at about 80% of our capacity. So maintaining some chi, healthy prana, and suppleness by not overworking. Cultivating ojas through movement, through rest. Ojas in Ayurveda is the stuff of health, suppleness that keeps us healthy. And then from here, let's push back to kneeling. If kneeling doesn't work for you, just take a moment to sit in cross-legged seat. And then we'll pause here and just find the center. I'm going to do a little bit of pranayama before we move into some poses on the ground. Let's take 5 breaths. Maybe you can notice your heartbeat. So we'll come into cross-legged seat here. And we're going to do a breath called Vastrika, breathing, followed by what I call straw breath. So Vastrika is a very intense pranayama. So if you're fairly new to pranayama, then I recommend you do this very slowly, like you're playing recording really slowly, in and out. And if you're familiar with pranayama and your nervous system feels seasoned to receive pranayama, then you can start to move your accordion a little more quickly, like a bellows. This Vastrika means bellows breath. Pranayama should never dysregulate your nervous system. It may make you feel dizzy, but if you feel anxious, then you always stop. So we're going to take our hands to our ribs and we're going to start really slow. So you're going to inhale, expand, exhale, draw in, expand, draw in, expand, draw in. So I'm going to speed up a little bit. You can speed up with me or stay slow. Pause. 3 rounds of straw breath. Inhale through your nose. Breathe out like you're breathing out through a straw. One more. Alright, how'd that go? So check in and just notice, does your nervous system feel steady and slow? Or maybe even a little energized and steady? Then you can repeat. Otherwise, you just pause and breathe. You can take this Vastrika really slowly, like very slow bellows or accordion. Or you can speed it up. We're going to do just one more. So hands to wrist. And we'll inhale. Pause, inhale, out through pursed lips. Inhale, through pursed lips. One more time. And tune in, notice how you feel. Okay. So we're going to take the next 10 or 15 minutes to get a little closer to the earth, and we're going to do some a little bit of work here for all three diaphragms. This diaphragm of the throat, technically not for real, but energetically here, glottis, and then the actual anatomical diaphragm underneath your lung, and the diaphragm of the pelvic floor. So let's start with diaphragm of lungs. So we will, actually we'll start with the throat. So let's come down into Sphinx pose on your belly. And Sphinx is lovely. That's a really lovely yin pose because it just helps to squeeze and hug the kidneys and adrenals. You can feel mine working overtime. And a little bit of soreness back there because of that. So just nourishing that kidney adrenal band. Let's work with the diaphragm of the throat, Jalandhara Bandha. From here, you're going to take an inhale, and we're going to, you know that weird thing you have to do when you have a pillowcase and a pillow, and you're trying to hold the pillow with your chin as you pull the pillowcase on. That's what we're going to do here. So you're going to inhale, and you're going to exhale, and then you're going to take your pillowcase, hold it in, and hold your breath out for just 3 seconds. So let's do that together. Inhale. Grab your pillowcase, breathe all the way out. And release. And notice how that felt. Again, this is pranayama that, if it does make you at all feel in any way anxious or uncomfortable, then you pause. You don't do it. Let's do that twice more. Take an inhale. Exhale fully. Grab your pillow. Breathe out. Hold out. Release. All right. How you doing? You have one more of this? Let's try that. Take an inhale. And exhale, chin to throat. Breathe out all the way. Hold out. Breathe in. Okay. Now we're going to move to the diaphragm of the lung. So let's turn our left fingertips to our right elbow and then roll to your left side. So it's like you're in a side plank here, but your forearm plank, but your hip is on the ground. So from here, let's just lift up for a moment. Take your left shoulder back, sink your left ribs down. Now kick your right leg back. I call this scissor legs. So as you kick your right leg back, now you can kick your left leg forward. Lean back through the right hip for a moment. Sink your left ribs down. Now take your right hand to your ribs and turn your ribs forward and toward the earth. You're going to walk your fingertips out toward the front right corner of your mat. Keep leaning back through your right hip as you walk forward. And this is pretty big in the diaphragm, so your breath will feel not quite so smooth, and that's okay. And then let's release. Now let's take cat pulling its tail. You're going to bring your right leg forward straight ahead. So there's an L shape of the legs, or a T if you will. So the right leg is perpendicular to the rest of the body. Now you can stay here sinking your left ribs or bend your left knee, that's your bottom leg, and then reach back with your right hand. Now you can hear my own voice change as I sink into the diaphragm here. Left rib sink. I'm going to take a few breaths. This can be very intense. Just feeling you can roll forward and back a little bit. About one more breath here. And then release. Let's bring the right hand back around. Let's bring the right leg to stack on top of the left. Let's roll to the belly. Let's come back to Sphinx pose for just a moment. All right. There are 3 squirrels outside in the trees chasing each other. It's nice how much more attuned I've been to the natural world. in the past week. All right, let's do the other side. Right fingertips turn toward the left elbow, roll to our right side like we're in a side plank. Take your right shoulder back, sink your right ribs down. Take your left leg back here, and now push your right hand forward. Take your hands, left hand to the front of your ribs, and you're going to draw your ribs back. As your left leg moves back, as your left hip moves back. So the left hip moves back in counter rotation, the spine and the lungs move forward. Reach your left fingertips toward the front left corner of the mat. Fill up the back ribs. You can almost treat this a little bit like cat pose. And from here, let's bring our left leg straight ahead. So that left leg just dissects the front here of our mat. Sink your right ribs down, bend your right knee, reach back, take a hold of your right foot with your left hand. We call this Indian cat pulling its tail. It seems like it's meant to open up the thigh, but it's meant to open up the diaphragm and the waist and the ribs. 3 breaths here. And then release. And then left leg back, and let's come back to sweeps. So I'm currently taking everyone's funny movie recommendations, so please leave them in the comments. I'm finding that I'm much more inclined toward full belly laugh at little prompting these days, because I know it's good medicine, so let me know what you got. All right, from here, let's go ahead and push up to all fours. We're going to come into Pigeon. You all know this one. It's a staple of postural yoga. So I'll give you some modifications. Most of you know you can lay on your back, bend both knees, cross right ankle over left knee, and then hug the knees in. The beauty of this figure 4 on the back is that it also nourishes the kidneys. The kidneys really sink into the earth. Otherwise, we're going to take the right knee forward and the left knee back. So the other modification here, if full pigeon is not for you, and we're looking if we feel this in the knees. This doesn't work for some people's knees. This also doesn't work for some people's back. So you can bring your left knee forward to touch your right big toe here. So I'm almost in what we call deer pose, and then just fold over your right thigh. So you've got some options there. Let me know how those work for you. And let's stay upright for just a moment. So you're going to lean back and lift your chest. And again, we're just squeezing the kidneys and opening up the ribs and the lungs. And we'll stay in this for about 2 minutes. I'm going to stay up for a minute. If you're ready to fold forward, you can. I'd like to stay up and create a little opening to the front body. And then we'll fold forward. You can stay here for just a minute. If at any point you get the message from your body that it's no longer beneficial, just fold to your back. And if you're in the pigeon here, the traditional form, you can keep moving your left leg back and letting your left hip get really heavy to the ground. This is a really lovely pose, and it begins to just open up part of the psoas, a very forward part of the psoas. See if you can just sink your left ribs and left waist down, and just be a little heavier to the earth. Look at the seed being planted. We'll be here for 5 more breaths. Last breath here. Just roll to the right sitting bone. Just very slowly, let's sweep the left leg around. And for those of you who are back, you can just extend both legs. I'm actually going to lower down to the back for just a moment here. And let your arms open out here. And just let everything flow from the center out to the edges. Just feel this movement. And then everybody can join me here, wherever you were. Let's bend both knees and take our feet mat distance wide. We're going to drop both knees over to the right. So we're going to do a full sequence for the hips on one side, and then we'll repeat that. So in windshield wiper here, you can feel perhaps the outer thigh opening. And if you feel so on the knee, you can flex your foot and bring your toes towards your knee. Whatever is touching the ground, let it get heavy. So can you feel your left hip touching the ground, let it become heavy, ribs, shoulder, let them become heavy. And let the right side just follow this heaviness, as if the right side could sink into the firm and steady anchor of the left. We'll bring both knees back up, and let's take our right foot down. We're going to tuck it. Both knees are bent. You'll take your right foot and you'll just tuck it between the left heel and left sitting bone. So now the right knee drops back like it's still the front leg of that pigeon, but you're on your back. I call this a pose. If you haven't heard of the names of some of these poses, because I make a lot of shit up. So if there's another given name for it, let me know. So pause here. You can just feel the inside now of both the groin, but the inside of the quadricep. You can add to this by picking up your left foot and hugging your left knee in. Right. Now, I'm going to take all that on the inside. So let's rock on up. And then come back to all fours. For those of you who did figure four, you're back. You can stay there. Let's bring the left knee forward and the right knee back. Now, for those of you doing half pigeon, remember that back knee just comes forward and you bow forward over your left knee. Otherwise, send the right leg back. I'm going to stay up here, upright, lifting the chest. Bowing forward when you're ready. Keep the right leg moving back. Now, I'm going to bring the right leg around very slowly, lower down to our back. Let's let the leg extend. And then we'll bring both knees, set both feet mat distance wide. Let's drop both knees over to the right. I'm just taking this windshield wiper here. Whatever's touching the ground is heavy, the right hip, the right ribs, right shoulder, letting the left side. Just lean into that anchor. And we'll bring both legs up. Let's take our left foot now and tuck it between our right sitting bone and right heel. Left knee drops down. Just like the front leg of that pigeon, and then bring your right knee up if you like. And then let's set right foot, left foot. Then one more time, you're going to roll over to your side. Before we begin to rest, do a little bit of percussion for the organs. So I'm going to do some tapping of the face. Some of you have done some tapping here. Make sure that your hands are washed before you do this also, because we're going to be tapping around the face. We're going to start with our fingertips just at our hairline, tapping here. And then above our brow. And then below our eyes, just on this jawline, below the eyes. And then below your nose, above your lip. And then below your lip, above your chin. And then I'm going to move down to where the collarbones and the sternum meet, just tapping there. And then loose fist on the lungs. So you can really create a little more percussion there. You can go just around to the armpits, where the lymph nodes are. So we've done this a lot in my own practice. And I'm going to go under to the liver and spleen, just tapping with loose fist, just to the liver and spleen, or just under the chest to the sides of the ribs. And then around to the waist, at the kidneys, so just below the ribs. And then release, and just notice that sense of percussion there, vibration. And then you can either stay seated in just 5 minutes of integration or rest in Shavasana. Just pause here. You come down onto your back, just let your shoulder blades hug into your back. Your bones begin to settle into the weight of gravity, and then the flesh follow, and let everything rest on the earth. So, if you're on your back, begin to stretch just a little bit. And move a little from side to side. Roll your ankles. Roll your wrists. And we're going to take a full body stretch. And bend your knees, roll over to your side. And come on up to sit. Bring your palms together. And apart. Just trusting this space, trusting this movement inward, and letting that sustain you until you discover the next right thing to do. Thank you for practicing. Bow our minds to the wisdom of our bodies and the knowing of our hearts. All right. Thank you.